Okay, this is my audience for my Communications 110 speech. Okay, now we just have to keep going.
Hello, and thank you for coming. My name is Becki Nyhagen, and I am here today to discuss with you the issue of ethnocentrism and how it affects our communication with each other. Have you ever been harassed or insulted because of your cultural heritage? Ethnicity and the underlying messages associated with them are all around us. We hear ethnocentric statements every day, and we sometimes speak ethnocentric statements without even realizing that we're doing it. The best example of an ethnocentric statement can be found in our own Pledge of Allegiance, which states, "One nation, under God," which seems to imply that we are the only nation and that we are somehow better than everybody else. This map gives a good example of the generalizations Americans make about other cultures based on our limited knowledge of their way of life. Throughout my research on the topic of ethnocentrism, the most striking feature I have encountered is that the United States is one of the most multiculturally diverse societies in the world, and yet we are the least culturally aware. I have also come to realize that just by being culturally aware of ourselves, our own ethnocentric tendencies, and how they develop, we can begin to overcome them. In the next few minutes, I will show you what ethnocentrism is, how it has developed in society, and I would also like to discuss a few of the various influences which have shaped our ethnocentric tendencies. So let's start at the beginning. I know when I first started to research the topic of ethnocentrism, I had never heard the word before, let alone did I know what it meant. The Corsini Encyclopedia of Psychology and Behavioral Science by Edward Craighead and Charles Numeroff reveals that the word ethnicity was first introduced by the Greeks and was used loosely to include nationality, culture, and race. It wasn't until 1906 that W.G. Sumner introduced the concept of ethnocentrism and later defined it in his book Folkways as a view of things in which one's own group is the center of everything and all others are scaled and rated with reference to it. Each group nourishes its own pride and vanity, boasts itself superior, exalts its own divinities, and looks with contempt on outsiders. It is important to note, however, that Sumner defines ethnocentrism as a view, which seems to imply that we are all aware of that view. However, Michelle LeBaron, in her article Culture and Conflict, states that cultural messages simply are what everyone in a group knows that outsiders do not. They are the water fish swim in, unaware of its effect on their vision. Which brings us to how we receive these cultural messages in the first place. Much research has been done to suggest that some of these cultural messages are genetically inherited. The genetic similarity theory, developed by Philip Rushton, suggests human beings are attracted to other human beings who possess similarities, such as common interests and goals, which help us to reach our own goals. Frank Salter, author of Indoctrinability, Ideology and Warfare, writes, "Ethnocentrism and patriotism may be fitness-enhancing mechanisms that enable group selection to occur." Now that we have some idea of what it means to be ethnocentric and one of the factors which influence our ethnocentric tendencies, let's look at another way in which we form our in-groups and our out-groups. The social identity theory suggests that social identity evolved as a defense mechanism associated with unpredictable surroundings and between group conflict, resulting in a need to identify with others who share a common goal. This visual breakdown of how the psychological process occurs gives you an idea of why we form in-groups and out-groups as a need to find our own personal identity. However, the easiest way to think of this theory is to picture yourself as a cave dweller millions of years ago, unfamiliar with your surroundings because they're always changing, having to fight animals and other tribes to survive. You would not want to be wandering in this world alone. Your options wouldn't be plentiful, and you would want to align yourself with a group who shared your language, your customs, and your need to survive. Now that I've shown you what's at the core of ethnocentric behavior, let me close by expressing that my purpose today is to give you a hint at the depth of which your cultural roots lie, and that only through your own cultural awareness can we begin to understand the diversity of other cultures. Throughout our human history, we have created cultural mechanisms to help us adapt to our environmental situation. Our ability to adapt to any situation is our greatest asset as human beings and has led to our evolutionary success. Throughout this process, we have held on to survival methods which have served us well in the past. To conclude, ethnocentric tendencies exist within all of us on some level. In an effort to understand our own ethnocentrism and how it plays a role in how we communicate with each other, we have explored how our own in-groups and out-groups have developed within us and as a society. Together, we have come to realize that some of our cultural messages have been inherited as a means of survival and are largely outside of our awareness. My hope is that you will leave here today with an increased self-awareness, which will ultimately lead to an increased cultural awareness and begin a process which will decrease your own ethnocentric tendencies. The first step in accomplishing this is to be aware of inherited qualities within yourself which affect how you judge others, and to proceed with an open mind in regard to ethnic diversity. Thank you for allowing me to share this with you